Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity was produced by Shadow Effects Productions. Stainless Steel Emotions Music and Free Earth Radio Live.
Good evening, guys. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever part of the world that you may be at this time. My name is Mark Hollander. I am your host for Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity through Free Earth Radio out of San Diego, California, as well as our affiliate, Ferret Radio Live, which is our YouTube channel. And thank you for joining me. And please hit that subscribe and like button, especially if you like our content, our videos, our guests. Speaking of guests, we got a great guest on tonight. We're very flattered to have him. He's a truther. He's a brother of mine from Western Europe. In particular, it's a southwestern part of Spain. It's a port city named Cadiz in Spain. I believe I'm saying that right. But he's a director and producer of the upcoming film called Flatten the Curve. And a lot of I got friends are on it. I'm honored to be actually part of the. I will be in it. I'm not producing and directing it, but I think there's a clip of me in it, as well as a former Ferret radio host, Rob Taylor, or Rob Flatlander, what he was known on the radio station, as well as Brett Freeman. And both of these guys are friends of mine. They're also ex-Army pilots, so they know a lot about the truth about, you know, the rim that we're on, the level plane, the flat earth, if you may. And I wanted to introduce that guy. He's a beautiful truther. He's got some of the best vids out there. And he's introduced us to something of a software program whereas we have our own studio, we can actually do almost anything. It's like owning a TV studio. Now I'm at the studio in New Orleans. Producer of the show would be Rick Lotek. He's out of Columbus, Ohio. And of course, Russ the Bird, our family station located in San Diego, California. And when trying times, guys, you know, I wanted to give you a couple of encouraging scriptures before I introduce my guests. 1 John chapter 2, verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer, in supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. So if you have any special needs, you got problems, we all have problems with trying times. Welcome to 1984 Revisited. And we do. It looks like things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. But anyway, my guest is he's Flatten Curve. The Flatten the Curve production is going to be coming out I believe in February of 2022, in a couple of months. We're very excited to have our good friend Vikka Draziv. And Vikka, are you in the house?
Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Mark. Great to be here. Such a good pleasure to be here with you on Ferret Live Radio.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
What time is it in Cadiz right now in Spain? I think you're about
12:20. Yes, 12:20 a.m. Yeah.
It's and thank you so much for accommodating us, because it's really hard to perfect a time that would be good and conducive and accommodating for our guests from Spain. Recently, we had Dave Marsh on, which Vikka is also a good friend of. You know, I had the pleasure of meeting Dave in Denver, Colorado at a Flat Earth conference. And so, you know, Dave was coming on at 2:00 in the morning in England time. So it's a little early out there, you know, as far as in conjunction to our show. But thank you so much. We're very honored to have you on tonight. And Vikka, I wanted to ask you first and foremost, I guess, is what makes Cadiz Spain? What are they known for? You know, they're known for textiles, commerce, trade, resorts. What's it worldly known for? Because it's a port city, is it not?
Right, right. It's an international port, and Cadiz have lots of history. Like it was known in English is known as Gades. I don't know if you heard of City of Gades. It's Cadiz. It's pronounced in Spanish in another way, but so it's the same city. So a lot of Phoenician history behind, a lot of architecture, very touristic city all around. Not even the main capital, but all around are uh, amazing beaches. Yeah, awesome place. Yeah, and good food. Yeah, good wine. Yeah.
I would love to visit because I hear very beautiful up there. Another one of my truthers, the music conspiracy guru Alex Michael. How far are you from Alex, the Flat Earth Music Man?
And I think he's in north somewhere, and I'm at on the tip south, southernmost. So I think he's in the north.
So you guys are a good ways away. So you don't ever run into. It's almost like, well, hey Alex, let's get together and play you know, play some music together, whatever. It'd be a nice drive from you. I'm guessing the north part of the country, I guess.
Sure, sure. Someday, if it was possible, it would be amazing, right? Yeah.
Right. And interesting enough, I've seen a lot of your work. Very fascinating. I'm almost thinking that you're Eric Dubay of Spain in a sense, whereas you do a lot of the stuff on your own. You voice over everything. You do a lot of audio with the visual effects of almost like a TV show, programming show, which are pretty fascinating work you have. And how long you've been putting out the videos as far as going through StreamYard and really perfecting your art on carrying your message out to the public?
It's been quite a few years. If you speak about flat Earth, maybe it's maybe 4 years or something, and 3 years of active doing research and producing videos.
Wow.
And the first year were just passive and just trying to see what's there around. And then there was a time where I even felt like it's the same information going around, and there's much more that's happening, and the community needs to know on many different subjects of flat Earth. So flat Earth is a huge and complex subject. You can just get.
Right. So so I mean, it's not like you are out giving out, like someone like Nathan Thompson, going to elementary schools and throwing flat earth flyers in children's faces. Most of your work is editing, producing content that you can get out to the public, or do you actually do street activism?
No, I'm not into street activism. I'm more into reaching people out, the real science, what everything can be verified from my video is nothing just made up, or so everything can be looked into and back checked, and a lot of research is in there. And even though my videos are 10 minutes, but there's a lot of work there to get all what you want about that subject. For sure, you can't fit everything, but you try to get in the important part that the community can understand clearly.
Interesting. Yeah, I needed to ask that as far as street activism, because we all have our niche, the talents that God gave us, and and you are actually doing what you love. I'm guessing because your work, the better the work, the more passion I feel that the person behind the work is doing towards that cause. And by the way, I wanted to ask you. I mean, you're a lot younger than I am. I'm 41 and I'll be 42 next. I'm just kidding. I'm about 20 years older than that. But anyway, when did you wake up actually from the Matrix? Where were you? Because we all pretty much, when you wake up and say, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. I think everything that they taught me in school is a lie. Or did you wake up to the Nephilim, the giants, the Darwinism? Was it flat Earth?
Everything, brother, everything. Because I've been into conspiracy maybe before 9/11. If we really speak, even Desert Storm, So,
Right.
so even before, you could just see what's been happening since Desert Storm to now, So everything. It took me time even to use Facebook maybe in 2015, 2016, even WhatsApp, because I was into so much conspiracy, everything you can imagine, Big Brother, everything, all the giants, everything we can. There is no subject that I haven't looked into, and even like this, it took me really. It was really difficult for me to stumble upon flat Earth, you know. So just maybe
Right.
we're speaking about 4 years. Even it was like I just stumbled upon it. Not it wasn't a video of flat Earth, you know. It was like you or like a camouflage video of check this out
Right.
before it's deleted, and I was just like I even before I read the word flat earth and I was like flat, I just knew I don't need any explanation from anybody. Is it flat or it's just that's it, it's flat.
Right. And let me, and it leads me to my next question. How did your family take it? As far as, because once we get all these truths thrown in our head, we're staying up all night, reading books or looking at videos. And how did your family react to your waking up?
It's different, so the information age, living life on different stages is so many different things been happening, so you can really put it that your family really knows what you are, you know what is really what's going on, so maybe they would have some idea or
Right.
something, if you speak presently, yeah, you have families who know that you are a flat earther, or some are, they listen to you sometimes, some they are not, nobody's against you, they just we we have families and friends and neighbors and workmates
Right.
who are Globers, and we love them too, we don't have any problem with Globe
So
Earthers
in other
or
words, you don't have a problem with getting like a lack of respect or isolation from family or friends. So you kind of,
no, no,
everybody, it wasn't that of a hardcore fallout from the event of you coming out.
because I think your life speaks a lot about you, what you are living your life, your principles, your, for example, we live on a flat off grid, so it's not that I just manifested myself here, so I would have to use this principle that I want to live off grid independent, and I live right now, so it's like applying, so all these kind of what you have been through your life and how you handle life, that's enough for the people to know whatever you think. Maybe for some people is a it's a craziness, it's out of the world, and for some people, yeah, they understand you have another way of seeing the life and thinking, because many things, so even what the present situation is showing everyone what everyone choose their life in a way and living it the moment right now, we can't even help anyone,
Right.
even.
Well, I have a lot of respect for your answer because it's oftentimes more so than not, they suggest that truth is so fragile that you have to handle it with care. And it seems to me that once you find the truth, some of us, including myself, so I got a lot of respect for your answer because myself, it caused a fallout between family and some friends, but they were able to come back towards me. But it's depending on how you act and how you handle that truth, because a lot of truthers don't really honestly know what to do with it. And then you start sounding arrogant or obnoxious, trying to commute that message of truth. But you seem like you do it in a very positive way, respectable way, and loving way. Walking with Christ is really the way to go once you carry that truth, because they don't have to agree with you, but if you can do it in a loving, compassionate way and communicating your message without losing that aura of respect, especially your close family members. You don't want to, it seems like you've done a great job. That's one of the best answers I've heard, given the fact that most everybody drops that truth to the ground. You go through some low valleys before you hit the peaks again. But you seem like you've handled your coming out party with a lot of dignity and know how to walk with that truth.
Right. And we have to let our family members also see how we are and how they are, and let them decide too. We could help in some ways, and as you say too, it's correct. We can't force anything. We just have to let it flow, because the things that are supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So there are things you could change, but there are things you cannot change. So you have to let it. And it's amazing. It's a part of the life. It's part of the lesson that we have to go through, because that's what we're experiencing right now, everyone.
Right. Well, we walk that each and every day, obviously, because the only constant in everybody's life is change. So, but walk it. So you seem like you've been able to peddle truth and do it in a very well mannered, respectable, and I applaud you for that. Because most everybody doesn't have the luxury of being able to suggest that. My next question, let's talk about Flatten the Curve. I'm very honored that you asked me to contribute to it. And of course, Rob Taylor's part of it. And I believe Billy Zig is in it as well. One of my co-truther authors, which I love Billy. Billy's a great guy. And so you seem like you have a lot of the other side, the people who have contributed to the truth, that walk it, that live it. And but what prompted you personally, or what influenced your idea of making the film called Flatten the Curve?
Oh, it's a huge question. It can be
The loaded
answered in
question too.
it can be answered in two sentences, but let's uh, try to brief it up. I created the World Flat Earth Association group maybe in 2019 in February. The
Right.
main idea was to get like-minded people together, especially flat earthers, and if people could have a platform where they could do group experiments, research, and projects. So, and with a couple of years, it did happen. There were people and every kind of flat earthers, professionals, earthers, like you, everyone. And there was a moment that, as I mentioned, there were some documentaries that were coming that wasn't very right on the spot about flat Earth, and it just was a catalyst for the people in the group to start speaking about that there could be a great job done. And I already had this plan. It's not that a year ago I just started making this documentary, because I have another group called Flatten the Curve. That
Right.
group was specially made to reserve the name for the documentary. So the
Sure.
documentary has been in making, like, intellectually, from maybe a couple of years. So until everything got together and everything happened, and it just boom. So there was a company. We created an online production company where every person involved in this company is like, we all are from different part of the world. So like our sound technician guys from South Africa, our narrator is from Australia, Billy is from Australia,
Right.
Eddie's is in Japan, I'm in Spain. So each of everyone. So it was like a collaboration to do a project, which I really want to make clear is that this is a community, non-profit community project for the community. So everyone involved knows from the beginning that everyone who is collaborating is for a cause. It's for
Right.
the community. So no one is going to gain nothing. We're not going to monetize nothing. We can't. So, and we don't want, and none of my videos, even my own normal videos, are not monetized, even though they have millions of reach. So that's not the idea. So everyone had that very clear, and we got together, and it just started. And the truthers, all the truthers who are involved in here, they are everywhere. They know the real truth. So
Well,
we
you guys are like my brothers from another mother. I know you and I go back only a short time, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but we feel it's strange once you wake up to the truth, where family seem to be, in a lot of cases, become strangers, and a lot of strangers the Flat Earth family come together collectively as a family. So a lot of people you feel is a family, even though albeit it's through social media means and all, but we all seem to bring the same message that, and I think it's could be very impactful. And I believe that that Netflix behind the curve, whatever it was, that was the one that really seemingly was an insult to all of us and made us look like a bunch of goofballs, a bunch of idiots. And I think that really ticked off a lot of people. So I would have guessed that you probably seen that Netflix and you were probably embarrassed and you said, you know what, I can do this better and I'm going to do it better. And I'm going to get the people that I want in this project to ensure the fact that it will be better. And so I'm guessing, did you see the Netflix, that fiasco? That's all I can call it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, one thing I can tell you that this documentary is not the usual faces, usual lines, and usual proofs.
Right.
There is something to learn even for flat earthers. The documentary is called Flatten the Curve, is because we are aiming even for people who don't believe in flat earth. We don't want to just put the documentary flat earth, because the word flatten the curve is going to be used a lot for these coming years. Already we've been using a lot from past 2 years. So it's just a way for the people to just stumble upon it. And
well, if you remember correctly, I love the title, Vikka, and think about this. In the U.S., where we're at, when they first locked us down in March of 2020, with that Chinese virus that's going around. But when they locked us down, I remember, and I think you remember this as well, I think it was President Trump, the government was suggesting, the message to us was, we're going to need 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That was the main line. Everybody close your business down, lock yourselves up in your homes. Let's flatten the curve, and we're going to do it in 14 days. That was 2 years ago, Vikka. They still haven't flattened the curve. So that is a very popular paraphrase as it is now, is flatten the curve. So it's not just synonymous on flat earth, it's synonymous with bullshit politics. And excuse my French, but that's how else can I say it? It was bullshit politics. So I love the name. I think it's very fascinating. It resonates in today's society, ever-changing society, and bringing this type of content and spreading the good word of truth is, to me, is what society needs, because we live in a falsehood society, artificial reality. Everybody's consumed with, materialism, consumerism. Everything is too much. I want it now. It's too fast of society. And of course, they left God in the background. That's one of the main culprits of why the world is what it is today, and it's falling apart at the seams. And this thing that they did with the lockdown is actually, in a ways, it's a political disease to bring about communism. Socialistic communism, for the false pretenses of them being it for your health. We're doing it for your health and well-being, because everybody's dying, this, that, and the other, but 99% of us are surviving. So, but anyway, that's another story for another day. But anyway, yeah, I think Flatten the Curve is an excellent name, and by golly, I think you hit a gold mine as far as the title. By the way, what platforms can we expect to see Flatten the Curve once it's released? And Vikka, is it going to be released did you say February?
Right. Yeah. February, somewhere in February. And yeah, our main platforms are Facebook and Instagram. And we have not looked into if we want to go on some private streaming and everything, but we have lots of platforms it's going to be on Odyssey, it's going to be on Libri, it's going to be on all the new platforms too, to have it everywhere. You can find it everywhere. It doesn't have to be on a paid platform where people have to pay to access, because it's like it's free, and it's gonna be how do you say, intellectual property of the community.
Excellent.
So, so totally
Absolutely.
accessible for everyone. And we have, we have on Truth in Plain Sight, the page. We have the Tooth Frequency Film page. That's quite a new page. Then we have on Instagram, we have two pages. Who's gonna be releasing the documentary too?
Sure. Absolutely.
And
Great.
we are seeing for more collaboration soon with the Spanish community and other things. Yeah.
Right. Spanish community it's getting sizable, isn't it? As far as truthers that you running across in Spain.
Oh, the Spanish FE community is quite huge, because there are many countries who speak Spanish. There's a whole lot of bunch,
Right.
and it's
Now,
a haywire. It's
in your area, Vika, do you come across a lot of flat earthers?
no, personally, very in physically here around, it's very difficult. I know a couple of people who even live maybe 15 kilometers from here, but we never met. We know us from, so it's very few. The most of the people, flat earthers, are from all over South America, all over, so all
Right.
over Argentina, Cuba, all over even you have in Spain, but they're more in north, and so it's very that dispersed. It's not very concentrated in Spain, because Spanish is not just Spain, because you speak the Spanish is all over, and it's one of the most spoken languages. So it's a huge community, loads of groups, loads of investigations too, and loads of, yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah.
All right. I wanted to for our audience, and again, guys, thank you for joining us on Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. I am Mark Hollander. I have the director and the producer of Flatten the Curve, Vikka Draziv. He is from Spain, southwestern Spain, actually, a beautiful port city called Cadiz. And it's a pleasure having him on. And Vikka, I wanted to ask you, if anybody in our audience wants to get in touch with Vikka Draziv, how would they be able to get in touch with you?
I'm most active is on Facebook, my personal feed, Vikka Draziv. Anybody can contact me, and even my page, Truth in Plain Sight, my another page, Truth Frequency Films. Then even on Instagram as Vikka Draziv, on any other platform, Odyssey, Livery, Vikka Draziv, and you're gonna find me all over. And they can contact me in all these ways. And yep.
Well, finally, I wanted to ask you, my last question is everything for the Flatten the Curve. You guys are actually in editing stages, or because you only got about a month and a half left? Because I do have an experiment that I can offer to you guys, but it's probably too late for that. My friend's got a laser thermometer, and as we know, we do it from a biblical perspective, as well as the scientific backing of this simple experiment. And it's just the moonlight and the sunlight, because the sun and the moon were made on the fourth day. God said the sun is the greater light and the moon is the lesser light. And but we were going to there's going to be a couple days this week that the weather's going to be pretty clear, and I'd be more than happy to contribute to it. Or what I might do is contribute it to Ferret Radio Live, and you can take a peek at it. And if you want to use it, by all means, use that. But if you have you guys performed that laser experiment, the laser thermometer on the
Me myself?
Yes.
Me myself? No, I don't know. I've done the experiments with a group experiment with the angle of the sun and the shades and the position of the sun. But we can always do something. The documentary is already almost complete. It's a very dense documentary. It's almost 1 hour 30 minutes. It's full house, and if I would have let, could have been 3 hours, but that's not the point. We want to have everything compressed how much we can, so that it doesn't go out of the approximate time we had. So for sure, but you know that I do short documentaries on my page, and I always love good work. And for sure, we can do your experiment, and um, we can produce something and release it also on your page, on my page, and all different groups and everything. Would be amazing.
But listen, you're an amazing guy. I hope one day that the Lord leads us where we can actually meet. Because I used to do a little traveling. I just don't want to. I don't like wearing face diapers, and of course, obviously, I'm not going to get that vaccine passport. So, but hopefully, one day soon we can possibly meet. That would be awesome. I know Rob thinks the world of you as well, and but you really you put a lot of work into this. I know it took you about over a year to accomplish this feat. I'm guessing. How long did it take you?
Yeah, almost a year, just from the when we started contacting people and start doing the project. A year. Yeah, and yeah, it's amazing to know you and even Rob and all the participants, because I tell you, it's crazy. You guys are so passionate about the truth. When you really met and know, and I was freaking out. I'm not doing nothing.
No,
Or
but Vika, you're the one that we need to emulate. We're too passionate about it. And when you're too passionate about something, at least you can be inside, but showing it to the world, sometimes it's a scary thing. It scares the world. So I think a measured response and holding dear to that truth and conveying it in the most effective way. I would tell you, after 7 years of waking up from this stuff, from the Matrix myself, that I was a hard person to be around when I first found the truth, and I'm a lot easier now, so it's the evolution of truth and being able to handle it, because it's too hot to handle for most people. And so I think the way that you are and the way you present yourself, I think is the most effective way to reach a large audience that's actually going to listen to what you have to say. And so that it was a learning thing for us. And obviously, I'm a lot better at it than I was 7 years ago. I was a hard person to be around when, I was writing a book on UFOs before I ditched it and decided to write a book about all the liars of humanity, as well as, the flat earth truth that we have. Anyway, if I asked you to come back on, and we got to start doing some work together, man. I really enjoyed this, you coming on, and I would like you to come on again and be a regular host, a guest host. I don't get, we'd love for you to contribute to Ferret Radio Live, because you're an integral part of the truth movement. And let's face it, the only problem that we have is the difference of times, and that's what 7 hours apart. But we can always fit everything to our schedule. And Vika, thank you for accommodating us tonight. And I know it's about 1 o'clock, almost 1 a.m. in the morning out there. And thank you guys for listening. Vika, would you come on again if I asked you to come back on?
first of all, thank you, Mark. It was really a pleasure to be here, and definitely we're gonna do more stuff, and even a feedback video when the documentary is out. Yeah, for sure. We can.
I'm excited about that prospect. And but listen, we're gonna let you go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity with my special guest, Vikka Draziv, in the making of the new movie coming out, the documentary coming out in February, 2 months from now, February 2022. And Vikka, thank you for coming on. I am your host, Mark Hollander. Welcome to Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. And please come back when we return with another edition of Hoodwinked. Thank you guys for listening. I'm your host, Mark Hollander. Good night.